Hi everybody, welcome to another English class here on verbling.com. In this hour, we are going to be having a speaking practice class. So it's not really a conversation class because in this hour, we're going to give each person a chance to practice their answers to specific questions. These are questions that actually they're very common questions for a conversation, but they are more specifically questions that you might get asked. Sorry, you might get asked on a test, such as the Ielts exam, the TOEFL exam, something like that. So if you are somebody who is preparing for one of those exams, then this would be a good class for you. If you don't care about the exams and you don't want to take an exam, that's totally fine because these questions are everyday type of questions anyway, so they are also good to practice. It is always good to keep practicing how you answer questions because a lot of times we might be quite fluent and we might be able to speak English very well, and sometimes we still make mistakes when we are answering a question. So it's always a good practice to continue, just even if it's the same thing you've done many, many times, you just get better at it. So even native English speakers practice when they're going into a job interview, for example. If you're going into an interview, you want to practice your answers. Okay, so you might work with somebody who can ask you certain types of questions and you practice those answers. So that is what I had in mind for this hour, and there were some reservations. So if you did have one of those reservations, go ahead and use it now and join me here in the Google Hangouts so we can get started. I prepared a little document, and the link is over there, probably over there, in the Verbling chat box. So if you click on that, you will go to that, and let me go over here and look. There's one person there so far. This, like I said, is going to be a speaking class, and we're going to be practicing answering certain types of questions. So some of the questions are about you. You're going to get to answer some questions about yourself. You're going to get to answer some questions about your family, what you do for work. It just depends on who shows up and what we want to do here in the class. So, like I said, if you had a reservation for this class, go ahead and use it now so that you can come into the Google Hangouts here with me. And if you didn't have a reservation, but you are a verbling.com member, then you can join us now by just clicking on the Join Class button. So maybe Chad is finishing up. I think he was finished. So that was the class right before. And now people will start showing up in this class. Hello. Hi, Marie. How are you? Marie, your microphone is muted. Do you want to unmute it so I can hear you?
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, how
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah, Verbling was downloading something. I wasn't sure I could interrupt it. But yeah, I'm
Oh,
fine.
okay, cool.
Okay.
Marie, remind me, where are you from?
Philippines.
Oh, yes. Okay, I remember now. So
Yeah.
how are you doing?
I'm fine. Just got
Yeah?
home from work.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What time is it there?
It's 1:05 in the afternoon.
In
1
the
o'clock in the
afternoon.
afternoon. Yeah.
Okay. So you have a morning job.
No,
Or
I work at night. I've been
oh wait,
working there for 5 years now.
it's 1 a.m.?
No, PM in the afternoon.
Yeah, but if you just got home from work, did you work? What are your hours?
I work 10:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. and
Oh,
then I
okay.
travel from the office. So yeah, I get home about 11, 12. Yeah, and I just
Wow.
had I had a bit of rest and yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of traveling.
I know about 2 hours. No, that's 4 hours back and forth.
Wow.
And yeah, I know.
How do you travel? Do you drive? Do you take a train or what do you do?
Oh wow. Public transportation here is quite complicated, but yeah. We have this. I don't know if you're familiar with a tricycle. It's like a
Yeah.
motorcycle. Yeah, yeah. So I take a
Mhm.
motorcycle. I change transportation like 4 to 5 times. I
Okay.
ride a tricycle going out, and then I ride a bus, and
Uh-huh.
then I get off at a certain location. Then I ride another bus again, and then I ride a
Wow.
taxi.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And that's this kind of the same going back home.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
And how long have you been doing that? What did you say? 5 years?
I've been working with this company for 5 years now. I'm still renting out a room nearby,
Mm-hmm.
but right now I just don't feel like going there. It's probably I just find that at this right now I feel like I can sleep more when I
Uh-huh.
go back home.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, this kind of routine I've had it for like maybe less than 3 months.
I see.
Not that long,
Okay.
yeah, but
Uh-huh.
you know.
So is that a picture of you with like what is that Christmas tree behind you?
Yeah, we just have a small one right now. Well, we have two small ones because
Uh-huh.
my mom likes buying furnitures. So, come Christmas time, there really isn't any room for a big one. But we still like putting up Christmas trees, and so, yeah,
Uh-huh.
we have this one small one here and then another small one
Uh-huh.
over by a table here
Wow.
in the living room as well. So, yeah.
So, in the Philippines, is it usual to celebrate Christmas? Celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, because I think Christmas, not to take away the religious aspect, but I think it's also in a way kind of like a secular holiday. Like,
Okay,
anybody
sure.
can celebrate it.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's normal. There is a part of the Philippines though in the south that is predominantly Muslim.
Uh-huh.
I don't know
Okay.
how Christmas is celebrated there, but I think it is. I think basically the whole Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
celebrates, except for some groups that can be very sectarian.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
they don't allow their members to celebrate it, but the
Sure.
majority do. Yeah,
I
the
see.
majority
Okay.
celebrate it. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, great. Welcome to class. And let me welcome Antonio. Hi there, Antonio. You're staying up very late. Antonio, are you there? Okay, I don't hear you, Antonio, and your microphone is not muted. So when you get back, talk to me. Okay, John, I don't know how to say your name. Is it John or Yun or how do you say your name? Hi, John.
Yes, I'm Jun.
Hi. How
Yes,
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How do you pronounce your name?
Um, Jun.
Jean?
Yes, correct.
Jean. Okay. And where are you from?
I'm from China, and
Wow.
I'm living in US out now,
Where?
California.
In California?
Yes,
Nice. Where in California do you live?
San Jose.
San Jose. Okay,
Yes.
I know that. I'm from California.
Really?
Yes, I'm from Fresno. Do you know Fresno?
Fresno.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
It's
sorry.
about it's about 2.5 hours from San Jose.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
in the middle. And my brother lives in San Francisco,
Oh,
which is
so close.
close to San Jose. Yes,
Yes.
yes. And what are you doing in California?
I'm a housewife now, and I'm preparing the TOEFL takes, and
Okay.
I want to apply graduate school in
Uh-huh.
American, US.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you married to an American or a Chinese person?
No, I married a Chinese.
Okay.
Exactly. We're from the same college, university.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Nice. Okay, welcome.
Thank
And
you.
Antonio, looks like you're back. Is it working now?
Okay, teacher.
Hey, Antonio, all right. Is it working, Antonio?
Okay, my connection.
Whoa, you sound like a monster or something. Antonio, your microphone is like going It's not easy for me to hear. Yes, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, maybe you're.
I have some problem with connection.
Oops. Yeah, maybe you have a slow connection. Maybe you can try refreshing again. Sometimes it helps.
I
Or
come
close.
back.
I don't know. Okay. Good. Okay, so let's go over some of these. Let's see. Marie, have you ever taken one of these types of tests before?
No, never.
Yeah. Do you need to or no?
Well, I'm just curious about the process because I've been toying around with the idea
Uh-huh.
of, migrating, living somewhere for a
Uh-huh.
while.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so I'm just kind of curious how the question and answer sessions go, or how the whole test goes actually.
Oh, okay. So
Mhm.
I'll talk a little bit about it. Jean, have you taken the TOEFL yet at all?
Yes, I took twice, but not so
Uh-huh.
good. My oral English is too bad.
Okay. So did you do well on the other parts? Like
My
reading or
reading is
writing?
fine,
Reading's good?
but the listening and the writing not so good. About 20, 21.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically, there are at least two major English proficiency exams. So one of them is called the Ielts exam, and that one is accepted by many universities and colleges and businesses and things as a way to test your English skills, your level. And the other one is the TOEFL, which is the test of English as a foreign language. That is usually a pretty popular one here in the United States. It's another type of test. So basically, they are very similar. Usually they have like a general English one and an academic English one. So it kind of depends why you're taking the test. If you want to study in an English-speaking country like the United States, for example, or Canada, you do need to pass these tests with a certain level, like a certain score. So it really depends on the program that you're getting into. So I was working recently with a person who is from Japan, and she is living in Canada, and she is a nurse, and she has already been a nurse for many years in Japan, but now she needs to get a pretty high level on the Ielts exam. She needs to get an 8 in the speaking, so it's a pretty high level that she needs in order to go into the nursing program or to be a nurse actually in Canada. So it really depends on what level you are trying to reach. To be a nurse, in an English-speaking country, you have to have a really high level of English. But if you want to just live and maybe get a job or something, you probably don't need as high a level. Especially, you don't need academic knowledge. Jean, are you trying to pass it to study in a college?
Yes, I'm
Uh-huh.
applying graduate school, and for example, UC Davis asked you at the minute the scores is 100.
Okay.
My score is about 18, 86. I don't remember.
Uh-huh. So you want to go to UC Davis?
Yes, one of my favorites.
Nice. That's in Sacramento. Well, it's in Davis, but near Sacramento. What do you want to study?
I haven't made my decision because my major in China is management. I'm not sure I can pursue this degree here. Maybe accounting or finance.
Okay.
It depends on
Some type of business related to business.
Yes, it's related to business.
Okay, good. And Marie, what do you do in your job right now?
I'm actually working, doing transcriptions. But yeah, my interest in taking this is actually more for translation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I've also been taking Spanish,
Okay.
and believe it or not, I've gone for at least two Spanish language exams, and yeah, I've passed them both.
Nice.
But my interest is more in translating from English to Spanish.
Uh-huh.
And I'm looking to, well, aside from the prospect of being able to live abroad, like in
Yeah.
Canada or the US,
Mm-hmm.
I'm also interested in taking language or translation courses online.
Cool.
And I think they'll be testing me for fluency in both languages.
Sure.
So it's that's
So-
also one of my goals. Yeah.
So how many languages do you speak?
I'm actually I know four, but I can say that I speak three. The other one I haven't had a chance to, but it's Indonesian. So
Oh, okay.
I have rudimentary knowledge of it, and I can speak, at a basic level,
Uh-huh.
but not really fluent.
Okay.
But English, Spanish, and my native language, yeah, I can speak them.
Yeah, and the native language for the Philippines, is that Tagalog? Is that how you...
We have like hundreds of languages here, but my native tongue is Tagalog in the area where I live.
Tagalog. Okay, yeah, that's how you say it. Tagalog. Okay. Is that anything like Spanish?
We have a lot of words that come from Spanish, but the language evolved over time. So I think it's kind of like English. You also have a lot of words that come from other, cultures, other places. But no, pure Tagalog is not. And even if you did speak, the colloquial Tagalog, the ones that we use nowadays, it's really different from Spanish. Although we have a lot of words that come from Spanish, but it's different. Yeah.
So how long have you been studying Spanish?
4 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Just on your own or at school?
I studied for a year. There's this school called Instituto Cervantes.
Yes.
That's like the official school, and I studied there for a year, and then I studied on my own for 2 years. And I did get a chance to study for a month in Spain.
Cool.
So it's basically self-study mostly.
Good. Well, that's great. Okay, well, why don't we get started here? Let's start with describing yourself. So this is usually a pretty open-ended question, and some people, they get a little confused and they ask me, teacher, what do they want me to tell them? How am I supposed to describe myself? So generally, when somebody asks you that question here in the U.S., it's kind of a pretty open question. Like, you can come and tell me what is the most important thing for you about yourself. You can say your age, you can say where you're from, you can say what languages you what kind of things you like, what kind of a person are you? Do you like to be very active and busy? Do you like to stay home more? So you can be very broad, or it can include a lot of things to describe yourself. You can focus wherever you want, but you usually only have 1 or 2 minutes, so you can't say a lot. And the idea is, you have to get into the mindset of the examiner. What are they trying to figure out? They're just trying to understand whether or not you have the level of language that will allow you to do what you're wanting to do. So, for example, Jean, if you want to go to UC Davis, they want you to be successful there. So to be successful, you have to have a certain ability to understand what the professors are saying, write your papers in English, and be able to talk to people. Maybe you might have to give a speech in your class or something like that, right? Presentation. So the test is really just to let you know, like, are you ready for that yet? So a lot of people get very nervous when they're taking the tests, especially the speaking test. So one of the most important things to do before you actually put yourself in the testing situation is to really work on your mindset and really try to work on being calm and confident. And of course, the better your skill really is, the more confident you will feel. So as much practice as you can, that's probably the best thing. So Jean, do you have somebody you can practice with?
Only my husband.
Mm-hmm. Does he speak English well?
Better than me, but not
Better
so
than
good.
you. Okay, okay. Yes. Well, it's always good, even if you just practice with him or come to Verbling classes or just even practice saying the answers yourself. That's always helpful. It's really just about getting that flow. So let's see here. I'm going to go and I'm going to put up the watch that we have here, this little stopwatch. So it's going to have a countdown. I'm going to set it. Let's give ourselves 2 minutes here. And you guys are each going to have 2 minutes to answer this first question. So, Jean, would you like to go first? The question, yeah. So the question is just describe yourself. So I want you to just talk for 2 minutes, telling me about yourself. Anything you want to tell me about you. Okay?
Okay.
All right, ready, go.
Yes. My name is Jun. I come from China, and I'm about 32 years old. I just come to San Jose, California, US about 2 years, and my husband is working here. So I quit the job in China and come here. I want to I want to I want to study in a graduate school. So um, I do my best to improve my English level, and I'm planning to take the TOEFL test. Um, um, I hope I can realize my dream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. Keep going.
Okay. Um,
You can tell me what kind of a person you are, what kinds of things you like, things like that.
what kind of person?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like to make new friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I do make some very good new friends here, and I also very miss my good friends in China. We usually have a conversation through on the website,
Mm-hmm.
and I miss my parents in China. I'm the only child in my family. Um, um, of course, I do love my husband, so I have to stay here.
Okay. All right, good. Time's up.
Thank you.
Okay, let me give you some feedback.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good. So you started off really well. It sounded like you maybe have practiced that, or it's something that you are used to saying. You know, that how old you are, how long you've been here, why you came here. So all of that's really good information. And then after about a minute, you kind of didn't know what to say, right? Yeah, okay, that's okay. Um, so this would be a good one for you to practice. So when I talked to you and I said, tell me anything, then you came up with some more things. So some of the things that were good to say were like, you're the only child in your family, that you love your husband and you're here, but you miss your friends and you miss your parents, and that you like to talk to them, on the internet. But when we talk about describing yourself, I'm curious. Sometimes maybe in other cultures they're not used to doing that so much, but in the United States this is a pretty common question. Like, tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you like? And so we often, I might say something like about myself. I might say, well, I'm a mom. I have 3 children. I used to be a teacher. Then I became a stay-at-home mom because I wanted to stay home with my children. Now I teach English classes online, and I have a website. I have a lot of hobbies still, even though I'm really busy working. I like to go skiing. And you can say that, like things about you, what you like to do. I like reading books. I like watching foreign movies. I consider myself somewhat shy or introverted. I like to hang out with my friends, but I'm not usually the life of the party. Stuff like that. So a little bit more about yourself. How would you describe yourself? Not necessarily so much like how tall you are or how much you weigh or what your color of your eyes are, because they can see that. But a little bit more like, what type of a person are you? Do you like to study? Do you like to play? Do you like animals? Do you like to spend time out in nature? Are you athletic? That type of thing. So a good practice is to write up a little paragraph about yourself and learn it and memorize it. And as far as the grammar goes, it was pretty good. You had a couple of mistakes when you say that you've, I think you said you moved here 2 years. I didn't hear the ago, but we say like 2 years ago. I moved here 2 years ago, or I have been living here for 2 years, something like that. So that's good. So the fluency started off really good, and then it was when you didn't know quite what to say, then it was more hesitant. And so the thing that they are looking for is the flow. Whoops, the flow, the fluency. So the more you can say without hesitation, without thinking too much, because especially if you're trying to find the word in English, they will give you a lower score. If you're just hesitating just a little bit to kind of gather your thoughts, that's okay. But if you have too many stops, like where you say and that kind of thing, if you're searching for a word in English, they will give you a lower score for that. Okay? Okay, good. All right, yeah. So let's hear Marie working on the same question, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and we'll work on the same one. Describe yourself, and then, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so my name is Nadine. I'm 27 years old and I come from the Philippines. Well, in general, I'd say I'm a person who loves to learn. I have an insatiable thirst for knowledge, and I like adventures. One of my interests is traveling, and I go to other places. I like traveling solo. It gives me a chance to meet new people and basically to learn things on my own, to experience things on my own. And I think it gives me more independence, moving around a place by myself. My interests also lie mainly in languages and learning about other cultures. The reason why this is so is because I think language is a great way to access other people's cultures and to learn more about their way of thinking, their way of looking things. Another thing about me is that I prefer to be in nature, and if I had my way, I'd live in the province, or somewhere near the sea or the mountains instead of the city. But right now, that's not possible. I'm also more of an introvert. It's not that I don't like people, but I just like spending some time by myself. It's a way to recharge and to do the things I want to do, so that when I connect with others, it's easier and I can connect with them more easily, give them more of my attention and my time. So it's a form of taking care of myself. And for me, I think it's just a matter of preference. It's just a matter of how you like to be.
Sure.
And yes, that's it.
Okay, good. 2-1. All right. Good. Okay, great. Okay, so some feedback.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was really good. I don't think I heard any grammar mistakes or anything. The flow was very good. You were able to speak, fairly quickly, so the time was, you were able to say a lot in a little bit of time. The only thing that I heard that if you were speaking to an American person, it would be that instead of, you said you would like to live in the province, we would say in the countryside. So instead of
Countryside.
in the city, yeah, you would prefer to live in the country or the countryside.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah.
that was good. Yeah. I didn't hear any problems with that. And the type of hesitation that you were doing was just like the flow of going to the next topic. I didn't
Okay.
get the sense that you couldn't find the words that you were looking for or something like that. So yeah, it's good.
Okay. I
Okay.
actually thought the province would sound strange. I was like, what? What else can I use? I was like, no, I can't find the word right now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about a testing situation is it makes people nervous, so it's even a person who is a native English speaker makes mistakes, they stumble over their words. Sometimes they don't say really great, grammatically correct sentences all the time, so it's really more of that they can tell that you have good vocabulary. Oh yeah, and I wanted to tell you that you did show that. So that was evident that you had a high level of vocabulary. Some of the words that you used were definitely, higher level of English. So that would, show the person that you have that level of English. So that was good. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Uh-huh. And so how about we go to your family? So some of the things that you can say about your family, and we're only going to go to 1 minute on this one, so it won't be so long. And I might ask you a question too. Sometimes in the first part of the IELTS, when they ask when it's the informal question, you don't actually have to talk for 2 minutes straight without anybody telling you anything. It will be a little bit more of a interaction. So they'll ask you a question, you answer it. They'll ask you another question, and then you'll answer it. There are 3 parts actually to the IELTS exam, and that's one of them is like we're doing right now. The next one is where they give you a topic, like, describe your favorite television program or your favorite magazine, or, describe your the capital of your country, something like that. And then you actually have a minute or two to develop a small or a short presentation, and then you actually have to give a little presentation and talk about 2 minutes long. So you did that in this one, so that was good. Okay, so Jean,
Yes.
let's have you talk about your family. So when you talk about your family or describe your family, we want to know, is your family large or small? Do you spend very much time with your family? You might say some things that you like to do with your family, or maybe you have done in the past. Do you get along well with your family? And are people in your country generally close to their family? So all of these things you can include, and you might want to include other things. These are just some questions to get you thinking about how to talk about your family. So tell us, I'm going to clear this, hold on, and make it just 1 minute now, so it's not so long. Let's tell us a little bit about your family.
Okay.
Okay, go. Go ahead, Jean.
My family is a small family. My grandma, my father, my mother, and I, and now maybe include my husband.
Sure,
Yeah.
let's include him.
I usually spend all my holiday to stay with my family, and I do enjoy to stay with them because before I came to US, I was working in Shanghai, but about 300 miles away from my hometown, and away from my parents. So, if I have a chance, I will go back to visit my parents. Um, we stay together. We usually watching TV and climb the hills. And
Okay, you're done.
oh yeah.
Okay, so when is the last time that you saw your family?
About half years ago.
A half a year ago?
Yeah, but
Okay.
we can talk on the internet. Yeah,
Aha, nice.
just like
Okay.
this.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Do can you talk with like Skype, or how do you talk to China?
Oh yes, in China we have a different charter software called
Okay.
QQ. Yes.
QQ. Okay. Uh-huh. Good. So, do they like to talk to you on the computer?
They used to too. They don't like. And
They don't like. Yeah.
sometimes, exactly, my parents now have a new have a boy dog.
Oh, uh-huh. A little
Yeah.
dog?
Yes, little dog, and
Uh-huh.
they usually carry the dog and say hi to me.
Yeah, that's cute. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So, I'm calling you Marie, but what do you want me to call you? Nadine or what? Bernadine or what is it?
Nadine will be fine. Yeah.
Nadine. Okay. All right. Okay. So, Nadine, tell us about your family.
Okay, so our family is fairly large. I have four siblings, so that makes six of us, together with my parents.
Hmm.
But here in the Philippines, when you say family, it doesn't necessarily mean just the nuclear family. It also extends to include your grandparents, maternal and paternal, and your aunts or uncles. So basically, everyone in the vicinity. So it's quite large,
Yeah.
and you can see that most, during gatherings like birthday parties, Christmas, important occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Families here in the Philippines, in the Philippines tend to be close, to one another. Of course, it depends on the setting, but more or less, we're close to one another. I guess it has to do more with the culture,
Hmm.
and unlike in other countries, kids usually stay with their parents for quite a long time, although they do get, independent at some point. So
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Good. So I'm curious about that. How long do the kids stay with their family, their parents?
It depends, but here, it's normal for
Mm-hmm.
a kid to be living in the
Mm-hmm.
family home or their
Mm-hmm.
parents for, up until maybe 30 years of age, or until they get married. That's kind of the
Oh.
milestone.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And
Hmm.
when so that's happening a little more nowadays in the United States because so many people are graduating from college with a lot of debt. you know,
Yeah.
and so and the job market, has been slow for some people, and so a lot of people are moving back home, and it's
Yeah.
not always a good thing here. It's not always a mutually beneficial thing. But I'm curious, in the Philippines, if an adult person is living at home, is it now more like adult people living together? So do you pay and do you help out with costs of food and rent or anything like that, or is it like you're still living with your parents and they're taking care of you still?
It's a little bit of both,
Uh-huh.
because the parents still manage the household. It's
Okay.
still their house.
Sure.
Although in some cases you might need to pay, for some of the bills.
Uh-huh.
But look, let's say in my case,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily pay the bills, but I do take care of, let's say, my own transport, my own meals. If I want to buy something, if I want to go anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
or like right now, I'm studying and working at the same time because I need to
Mm.
pay my own tuition.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it basically depends on, let's say, the parents' economic status as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes the parents will ask outright if you need to chip in, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's just that it's just kind of like the fact that they're still running the household.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
it's not really strange if the parents still
Mm-hmm.
pay for everything. But I think the line really is drawn when you get married. When you get
Okay.
married, you have to get your own
You're out
place.
of there.
Yeah, and the parents don't really, if let's say you finished college, then you're
Yeah.
at least expected to find work and,
I
to
see.
fend for yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, do the parents get along with the adult children? Is it like a good thing? Like they like it?
Again, it depends because
Okay.
some parents nowadays accept the fact that, when their children have grown up, then they're adults as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say that according to my own experience,
Yeah.
it also, how do you say this? The dynamics.
Mm-hmm. The
Um,
dynamics change.
yeah, the
Yeah.
dynamics they tend to stay the same, more or
Oh.
less. I mean, in some ways, they recognize that you're already an adult. Like you don't really have to ask them every time you go out. You don't have to inform
Yeah.
them, or at
Yeah.
at the most, they'll just probably ask you if you're going home, what time. But if you say that no, I'm
Sure.
staying over somewhere, then that's fine.
Yeah.
And they let you decide most of the
Yeah.
time for certain
Okay.
important things. But yeah, there's still this dynamic that they're the parents and you're the children,
Mm-hmm.
and in many cases you can only sort of break that dynamic if, like, let's say in my case, I moved out for a while, maybe a total of 6 years, and so now that I'm going home every now and then,
Yeah.
there's a bit of a change.
Okay.
You're not exactly treated anymore as a child.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a difference.
Okay. Interesting.
Mhm.
All right. Thanks.
Mhm.
I just like to hear the differences, and because I actually lived in Spain for a school year a long
Uh-huh.
time ago when I was in high school, and so I lived with two different families, and that is also was the norm there, especially in one of the families.
Mhm.
Some of the children stayed quite a while, and then they got married or they moved for jobs or something like that. But it was not like in the United States where a lot of people are like, when you're 18, you're out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, good. Okay, Jean, let's talk about work. So in this case, you already told us that you're not working right now. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's okay. So for work, you can just tell us anything. These are some of the ideas. What do you do right now? Like, what do you do at home? What are some of your responsibilities? Do you like what you're doing right now? What would you like to be doing if you could do a different job? Any of those types of things related to work. Also, if you take the TOEFL and they ask you something like this, you can talk about the fact that maybe you're not working now, but you could talk about a job that you used to have, as an example. So any of those things are fine. So let's hear you talk for 1 minute about your work right now or your work experience. Okay? Ready,
Uh,
go.
yes.
Okay.
Before I come to the US, I have a job in Shanghai, and I work as a tax checker. I don't know how to say this in American.
At like a store?
Tax checker.
Tax?
Just look through their accounting, the finance table, and find pick out the if there are some mistakes, and whether the company offers the whether the company offers the tax law in China. And
okay.
Yeah, if there is something wrong, I will pick it out, and if it is necessary, it will be receive the punishment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that's called exactly. I know what you mean. So you were checking to make sure all of the paperwork was correct. Is that right? Like the filing for the taxes?
How to say it in China? Maybe IRS.
Yeah, like the IRS. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So you worked for the government.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you could say, yes, when I was living in China, I worked for the government. I was a tax agent, you could say.
Oh, tax agent. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what we call it. So a tax agent. And so when a company turns in their taxes, then you check it and make sure it's all correct.
Yes.
You might be also maybe you weren't an auditor. An auditor is a person who, if they have problems,
yes.
Yeah, maybe you are an auditor. Okay, so yeah, good. All right. And so, did you get a degree in accounting? Is that what you studied before in China?
Accounting. Exactly when I was my graduate school major is management.
Okay.
But now in China, you can you need to join the national test.
Oh, okay.
If you pass the test, you can be a employee of the government.
Oh, okay.
Then when I do this job, I take the how to say this certified takes certified. It seems like certified takes
tax accountant or something.
How to say? Do you know CPA?
Yeah, CPA, certified public accountant.
Accountant. In China, there is a certified tax accountant.
Okay, all right.
I passed that exam.
Nice. Wow. Okay. Was it a good job to work for the government?
Not as good as I thought.
Okay.
But I do like my job. I don't like to deal with the things out of the work. In China, you have to do something you don't like.
Yeah.
So I like job with the technical. And I don't like the job to deal with people.
The people, okay.
Yeah.
You prefer to deal with the numbers and the computers.
Yeah.
Okay. Left brain, we say. Okay. And what were the hours that you worked at your job?
Oh, that's very good. About 9 to 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
And did you have a lunch break,
Yes, we have a lunch break.
like 1 hour or something, or?
Uh, Maybe 2 hours.
Oh,
Yeah,
2 hours. That's a long break.
good. That's great.
Yeah. Did you go home to eat lunch, or did you go out to a restaurant?
Oh no. Exactly. We have our how to say this?
Cafeteria, maybe?
Yes, we have a cafeteria in our building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We don't need
Nice.
to pay for it.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
What did they feed
Same
you?
like Apple,
Like Apple
Google,
computers?
Google.
Google, yeah. Like Google. What did they feed you for lunch?
So
What
you don't
what
know need to waste the time on the traffic.
Yeah, but what did they feed you?
Oh,
What
Chinese food.
Chinese
Rice,
food, like rice,
yes,
chicken,
chicken, yes,
beef,
fish,
fish.
yeah, yeah.
Yummy.
But
Yeah.
everyone's menu is exactly the same. You
Okay.
cannot need to choice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh well, that's good though. At least you get good food. Okay, Nadine.
Uh-huh.
All
Yeah.
right. So tell me about your work.
Okay, so right now I'm working for a rating agency. I do transcripts and
Hmm.
a little bit of research. So what we basically do in a nutshell is we produce transcripts of meetings held by executives, mostly their earnings calls.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I work nights. My working hours are from 10:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m.
Hmm.
And I don't mind it so much, except that it's the fifth year I'm doing it, and
Yeah.
it's getting kind of tiring in a way, in the
Yeah.
physical sense. But the work in itself is quite, how should I say this? It's quite entertaining in a way because you use a
Yeah.
voice recognition software. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and so there's no end to the experimentation you can do with that kind of software and the ways you can improve your work. And
Yeah.
also, I'd have to say that one of the best things about the job is my colleagues. I'm lucky to
Mm.
have colleagues which are also my friends at the same time.
Yeah,
So,
nice.
yeah.
So, okay. So let me ask you a couple of questions. I used to do medical transcription for a while,
Hmm.
um, working from home. Do you have to go into the office every night?
Yes, we do.
Mm. And you're working, I forgot what you said your hours were. Is it 8 hours long?
8, 9 hours. Well, 9 hours excluding, I mean, sorry, 8 hours excluding a 1 hour break, for
Oh, okay.
lunch. So, yeah.
Wow. Wow. How many people are working at the same time?
I think in our department, because there are other departments, but for transcripts, I think
Uh-huh.
there are about 200 people working.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, do you just log in to the computer and you just starts getting downloaded your stuff that you have to listen to and transcribe?
Oh, yeah, it's kind of interesting because what we do is companies, well, we work with companies that are
Mm-hmm.
mostly based in the US.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we have the schedule of their earnings calls.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we log in, and then there's this software. It's called
Yeah.
Dragon, and we work with that. There's a voice model, so it
Mm-hmm.
recognizes your voice, how you speak, and then as soon as a live call is scheduled to begin, then
Mm-hmm.
you go ahead and tune into the webcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they start speaking, then you start speaking as well. So
Really?
it's like listen and repeat. It's kind of it's simple, but at the same time, it's quite complicated, especially if you're new.
Yeah.
But then you learn a lot of financial jargons and everything.
Sure. Is it all in
So
English?
yeah, they are all held in English, although some of the companies, a handful of companies, have translators,
Hmm.
and a lot of foreign companies, they have executives who speak English, but you have all of these different accents. I mean, even with
Sure.
American speakers, you have
Sure.
that. So
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
yeah. So that's kind of what makes it also fun.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, so that's good for your English then.
I know, yeah.
So how long is each transcription? How long does it take you to do one transcript?
Um,
Or how long are the calls?
I think the shortest ones would last around 25 minutes long, or maybe less than 20 minutes. But yeah, the longest transcripts would have to be between an hour and a half long.
Wow.
But the thing too is that some events, like if you have meetings held for shareholders or analysts,
Yeah.
that can last like 6 or 8 hours. So what they do is they divide it,
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, while the live call isn't going, then you might be working on the first hour, and then
Yeah.
somebody logs in and works on the second hour, and then, so on and so forth. So.
Right. So does it look? I'm gonna put a link here. Does it look like that? If you can you open that link?
Oh, sorry. I don't think I can open. I don't think I have the chat. Oh, sorry.
Here, I'll do it
Yeah.
here.
It says it's downloading the app.
Okay, yeah, I think it's taking a while. Do you see it on the screen share there?
Wait. Let me just check. Yeah. That's exactly what we're working on. Yeah. Earnings calls. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, you get to find out who's making money, huh?
In a way, but to be honest, I'm not really the type of person who's
Yeah.
very much interested in the financial. It's kind of strange though that
Yeah.
I've been working in this company for 5 years, but I'm not really that immersed into it.
Yeah.
It's interesting
Okay.
to find out the things that I find out that I discover really aren't that intricately connected with the finance, but more
Okay.
in how companies do business, how they, for instance, how they treat people,
Yeah.
how
Okay.
they deal with ethics, so things like that. Money, I get an idea, but it's not something that concerns me very much.
Right. I see. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have time for just one more, probably. So let's do about education. So you can describe your education. You can tell me any one. You could go all the way back to elementary school. You could talk about high school. You could talk about college. You could just tell me whichever time period you want to talk about. So, Jean, I'm going to give you 1 minute here to tell us about your education. Okay? Go.
My favorite university is my graduate school, United U University of Science and Technology of China, and the university is located in Hefei, Anhui Province, in the middle of China, and and I like this university because I met my husband there. And yes, we have very good memory in the university. And there may be some very good food in the campus.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, when you went to university, did you live on campus?
Oh yes.
Uh-huh.
In China, almost all students live in the campus.
Okay.
It's much cheaper than the outside.
Okay, so you have dorms. We call dorms.
Oh, yes.
Dorm rooms. Yeah. Okay, you lived in the dorms.
Yes.
Okay. If I was telling you how to answer this question a little better, you would talk more about what you studied. So you might say, I attended university, 5 years ago. I studied accounting. It was very fun. I really enjoyed my university. The food was good. I met some nice people there. That's where I met my husband. You could talk about if it was difficult. My classes were very difficult, but I liked being challenged, something like that. Okay? All right, Nadine, 1 more minute here.
Okay. I'm
Tell
gonna
us.
start.
Yeah, go.
All right. So basically, the first 14 years of my education, I was in a Catholic school. So I know, but things are different now. So
Yeah.
after that, I got into a public university, which which permitted more liberty of thought, which had more
Mm-hmm.
diversity in it. I studied social sciences too, so I
Oh.
think that helped broaden my mind a bit. Although I'd say even before, I was more of a critical thinker. I tended to question things, but the atmosphere in college and also my course allowed me to express that more. And even now that I'm doing my master's, it's still about Asian studies, social sciences, so it's the same thing.
Hmm.
And I think the important thing that I learned in college is that you need to stay true to your convictions, to your own freedom of thought, because that's where real learning begins. And you can go ahead and listen to other people, absorb other opinions, and just discuss on things,
Yeah.
learning more without necessarily getting lost. So there.
Good.
Mhm.
Good. So there. All right. Awesome. Okay. Well, great. What are you getting your master's in? A social. What'd you say? Asian studies.
It's Asian studies, yeah.
Asian studies. Oh, okay. And so you're working full time and you're getting your master's degree.
Yes, right now I'm doing my thesis, so I'm done with the
Okay.
coursework. But yeah,
Okay.
that was the
Uh-huh.
case for like four
Okay.
years. Uh-huh.
Wow. What's your topic for your thesis?
I'm doing something related to literature, like literary criticism or study, and
Uh-huh.
I'm working on a novel by an Indonesian writer called
Nice.
Pramudia.
Uh-huh.
It's a book. Sorry, it's a series which is comprised of four books,
Uh-huh.
and I think it has something to do with Marxist literature. Although I'm still exploring that part. That is something new to me, and it's interesting.
Marxist literature, and you're transcribing earning reports.
I know,
College.
right? I
That's
have a
a
strange situation. I
yes,
know.
you do. That's a good mixture of capitalist system and social sciences and
Yes, that
Marxism.
is.
That's funny. Cool. All right. Well, hey, thank you guys for coming to class. I hope it was helpful to you guys. It's always I think it's always great to just keep the words flowing and keep practicing, and you'll just keep getting better and better. Uh, Nadine, you obviously are very fluent at this point, and now that you're working with English all the time, that's really great. And
Mhm.
Jean, you're doing awesome, and I think the best thing since you are in California, just go out and meet some people and don't speak any Chinese. Speak English. That's the hardest thing for people who come here to learn English, because it's so easy to just stay with like your own people. I've had several private students who live in Canada or the United States, and they're paying me money to talk to me because all their friends speak Arabic or Chinese or Japanese or something like that. So watch TV, go to Verbling classes as much as you can. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, thank
Awesome.
you.
Okay, it was nice having you. Nice meeting you. Thanks for coming to class, you guys, and I'll see you another time.
All right, thanks, Lisa.
Okay,
Bye.
take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bit of rest and yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of traveling.
I know, about 2 hours. No, that's 4 hours back and forth.
Wow.
And yeah, I know.
How do you travel? Do you drive? Do you take a train, or what do you do?
Oh wow. Public transportation here is quite complicated, but yeah. We have this. I don't know if you're familiar with a tricycle. It's like a
Yeah.
motorcycle. Yeah, yeah. So I take a
Mhm.
motorcycle. I change transportation like 4 to 5 times. I
Okay.
ride a tricycle going out, and then I ride a bus, and
Uh-huh.
then I get up at a certain location. Then I ride another bus again, and then I ride a
Wow.
taxi.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And that's this kind of the same going back home.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
And how long have you been doing that? What did you say? 5 years?
I've been working with this company for 5 years now. I'm still renting out a room nearby,
Mm-hmm.
but right now I just don't feel like going there. It's probably I just find that at this right now I feel like I can sleep more when I
Uh-huh.
go back home.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, this kind of routine I've had it for like maybe less than 3 months.
I see.
Not that long,
Okay.
yeah, but
Uh-huh.
you know.
So is that a picture of you with like what is that Christmas tree behind you?
Yeah, we just have a small one right now. Well, we have two small ones because
Uh-huh.
my mom likes buying furnitures. So, come Christmas time, there really isn't any room for a big one. But we still like putting up Christmas trees, and so, yeah,
Uh-huh.
we have this one small one here and then another small one
Uh-huh.
over by a table here
Wow.
in the living room as well. So, yeah.
So in the Philippines, do you is it usual to celebrate Christmas? Celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, because I think Christmas, not to take away the religious aspect, but I think it's also in a way kind of like a secular holiday. Like,
Okay.
anybody
Sure.
can celebrate it.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's normal. It's there is a part of the Philippines though in the south that is predominantly Muslim.
Uh-huh.
I don't know
Okay.
how Christmas is celebrated there, but I think it is.
We're from the same college university.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Nice. Okay, welcome.
Thank
And
you.
Antonio, looks like you're back. Is it working now?
Okay, teacher.
Hey, Antonio. All right. Is it working, Antonio?
Okay, my connection.
Whoa, you sound like a monster or something. Antonio, your microphone is like going It's not easy for me to hear. Yes, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? I have
Yeah,
some.
maybe you're.
I have some problem with connection.
Whoops. Yeah, maybe you have a slow connection. Maybe you can try refreshing again. Sometimes it helps.
I
Or
come
close.
back.
I don't know. Okay. Good. Okay, so let's go over some of these. Let's see. Marie, have you ever taken one of these types of tests before?
No, never.
Yeah. Do you need to or no?
Well, I'm just curious about the process because I've been toying around with the idea
Uh-huh.
of, migrating, living somewhere for a
Uh-huh.
while.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so I'm just kind of curious how the question and answer sessions go or how the whole test goes actually.
Oh, okay. So
Mhm.
I'll talk a little bit about it. Jean, have you taken the TOEFL yet at all?
Yes, I took twice, but not so
Uh-huh.
good. My oral English is too bad.
Okay. So did you do well on the other parts? Like
My
reading or
reading is
writing?
fine,
Reading's good?
but the listening and the writing not so good. About 2021.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically, there are at least two major English proficiency exams. So one of them is called the Ielts exam. Hi everybody, welcome to another English class here on verbling.com. In this hour, we are going to be having a speaking practice class. So it's not really a conversation class because in this hour, we're going to give each person a chance to practice their answers to specific questions. These are questions that actually they're very common questions for a conversation, but they are more specifically questions that you might get asked. Sorry, you might get asked on a test, such as the Ielts exam, the TOEFL exam, something like that. So if you are somebody who is preparing for one of those exams, then this would be a good class for you. If you don't care about the exams and you don't want to take an exam, that's totally fine because these questions are everyday type of questions anyway, so they are also good to practice. It is always good to keep practicing how you answer questions, because a lot of times we might be quite fluent and we might be able to speak English very well, and sometimes we still make mistakes when we are answering a question. So it's always a good practice to continue, just even if it's the same thing you've done many, many times, you just get better at it. So even native English speakers practice when they're going into a job interview, for example. If you're going into an interview, you want to practice your answers. Okay, so you might work with somebody who can ask you certain types of questions, and you practice those answers. So that is what I had in mind for this hour, and there were some reservations. So if you did have one of those reservations, go ahead and use it now and join me here in the Google Hangouts so we can get started. I prepared a little document, and the link is over there, probably over there, in the Verbling chat box. So if you click on that, you will go to that, and let me go.
You know, I think basically the whole Philippines, you know, celebrates, except for some, you know, groups that can be very sectarian. You know,
Yeah,
like
okay.
they don't allow their members to celebrate it, but
Sure.
the majority do. Yeah,
I
the
see.
majority
Okay.
celebrate it.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, great. Welcome to class, and let me welcome Antonio. Hi there, Antonio. You're staying up very late. Antonio, are you there? Okay, I don't hear you, Antonio, and your microphone is not muted, so when you get back, talk to me. Okay, John, I don't know how to say your name. Is it John or Yun, or how do you say your name? Hi, John.
Yes, I'm
Hi.
good.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How do you pronounce your name?
Jun.
Jean?
Yes, correct.
Jean. Okay. And where are you from?
I'm from China, and
Wow.
I'm living in US out now, California.
Where? In California?
Yes.
Nice. Where in California do you live?
San Jose.
San Jose. Okay, I know that. I'm from California.
Really?
Yes, I'm from Fresno. Do you know Fresno?
Fresno.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
It's
sorry.
about 2.5 hours from San Jose.
Oh.
Yeah, in the middle. And my brother lives in San Francisco, which is
So close.
close to San Jose. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And what are you doing in California?
I'm a housewife now, and I'm preparing the TOEFL takes, and
Okay.
I want to apply graduate school in American, US.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you married to an American or a Chinese person?
No, I married a Chinese.
Okay. Here and look, there's one person there so far. This, like I said, is going to be a speaking class, and we're going to be practicing answering certain types of questions. So some of the questions are about you. You're going to get to answer some questions about yourself. You're going to get to answer some questions about your family, what you do for work. It just depends on who shows up and what we want to do here in the class. So, like I said, if you had a reservation for this class, go ahead and use it now so that you can come into the Google Hangouts here with me. And if you didn't have a reservation, but you are a Verbling.com member, then you can join us now by just clicking on the Join Class button. So, maybe Chad is finishing up. I think he was finished. So that was the class right before. And now people will start showing up in this class. Hello. Hi, Marie. How are you? Marie, your microphone is muted. Do you want to unmute it so I can hear you?
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, how are
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, Verbling was downloading something. I wasn't sure I can interrupt it. But yeah,
Oh,
I'm fine.
okay, cool.
Okay.
Marie, remind me, where are you from?
Philippines.
Oh, yes. Okay, I remember now. So
Yeah.
how are you doing?
I'm fine. Just got
Yeah?
home from work.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What time is it there?
It's 1:05 in the afternoon.
In
One
the
o'clock in the
afternoon.
afternoon. Yeah.
Okay. So you have a morning job.
No,
Or
I work at night. I've been
oh wait,
working there for 5 years now.
wait, it's 1 a.m.?
No, PM in the afternoon.
Yeah, but if you just got home from work, did you work, what are your hours?
I work 10:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. and
Oh,
then I
okay.
travel from the office. So yeah, I get home about 11, 12, yeah, and I just
Wow.
had, yeah, I had a